welcome to another episode of McCall Media TV Live, whereby in today's broadcast, myself, Angela McCall, will be talking to you all about different WordPress size images. Now, this has come out of the back of a discussion I had on Facebook with one of my members of my solopreneurs group, and she posted her blog article, and it was a fabulous article, but she had this really cool infographic, and it was a bit too small to see. And as you can see, people like my good self, we're getting on a bit in age. Sometimes we need to use glasses, and I wanted to click on the image, expand it, read it, and that kind of thing. And of course, I couldn't. So we had a little bit of a chat about how she could basically approach that with her WordPress blogs and overcome that as a problem. And she kindly agreed that I could use that as a feature of today's episode. So I'm just going to put the post up there now, just to give you guys some little feedback. And you can go and find this and read this for yourself inside the Solopreneurs Club on Facebook. So before we crack on, I'm going to run my little intro and get ready to demonstrate how you can solve this problem for yourselves. Okay there, so I'm just going to take a moment to show you that message once more. So basically, Joanne, she, like a lot of people, was putting a lot of effort into her blog posts, and for one reason or another, it was including some images, and those images weren't being very clear. And as a natural thing that a user of a website wants to do when they want to look at an image that's not very clear, they click on it and it should open up and make it a lot more visible, and that wasn't happening. So I gave Joanne some lovely little pointers and hints, tips, and I just thought actually this is something that a lot of people do struggle with, and I thought I would jump on today, go behind the scenes and show you guys how to manage that for yourselves with your WordPress blogs. So the first thing that we are going to do is I'm just going to share my screen with you. Let's see if the technology works today. Oh, look at that. Right, so as you can see, I'm on Google. So let's just first of all talk about sourcing your images. Okay, so I'm going to put in a really random thought that's just jumped into my head. Let's say we're looking for an image on ice cream, because, you know, everybody likes ice cream. And as you can see, I've navigated over to the images tab up here, and there's 101 million pictures of ice cream. Now, first of all, I should say to you, you shouldn't just do this for yourselves, because there is copyright processes in place. And if you aren't knowledgeable, sometimes it is possible when the photo is being taken, there are serial numbers and all sorts of data inside the photo that a photographer can actually go and search on to see if people are using their photos without permission, and you can get caught out. So always make sure you resource or you use legitimate resources for your images. But Google's tool here does give you a nice little way of understanding image sizes, which is why I'm using it in this example today. So over on the right hand side here, you do have the tools button, and then that drops down another menu where you can actually have something called size, and we can click on that and says large images. So basically what's returned to us now are images by Google that it considers to be large inside. So it could be, let's just have a look at a really good funky one here. What makes my mouth water? I'm sure that's one that my girls would probably pick, with lots of sparkles and this, that and the other. Now there's a couple of little hints and tips that you can still pick up from here. Down in the bottom left hand corner, and it's probably very tiny, so go do this for yourselves as a little task to learn afterwards. But if you just look where my mouse is circulating, it does actually give you some data there, which is the size of the image. And in this case, this sparkly ice cream is 1024 pixels wide, so it's wider than it is taller, and it's 768, which is kind of an average industry size for a photograph used on the internet. Now, if I actually click on this photo, just to give you a bit of an understanding, let's see, I have no idea who this person is. Let's actually go all the way through and view the image. That is the image now viewed on its own at 100%. Now, as you can appreciate, it's a beautiful image if you want to talk about ice cream, but it probably would engulf your entire website page and your blog article. So what you need to do is you need to understand you need to work with large images, but you need to show them in small settings, as it were. So I'm going to save this just purely for the demonstration. Save image as, and I'm just going to save it to my desktop so that I can use it. And there it is. I'm just going to call it ice cream. Oh, no, I've just realised I don't think it's going to allow me to save it. It might be protected. Hang on, right click, save image as. Let me just see if I can do that one more time. No, it's not. And see, that's obviously a good thing for the owners, but it's copyrighted. So I won't be able to use that particular image in this example. This is one of the pleasures of doing things live. But let's just jump over to my WordPress website. So as you can see, I'm logged in at the back end and I'm going to go to my media file. So let's just work with one of the images already in my website. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new post right now in a window, and we're going to call it test image so that I can show you as an example. Now I'm streaming live, which means I'm using a little bit of a resource on my computer, so things are running just a little bit slower than they would normal. So I'm going to put test image, and I'm just going to save that right now just so that I can actually publish this page and show you the live post. So I'm just going to open that in this tab. So as you will see right now, there is an empty page on my website. So we're going to put an image here, and we're going to play with the settings inside WordPress so that you guys can see for yourselves how you go about it. Now let's quickly jump back to our media library, because as you can see, I'm a lady that likes my images, and I have all sorts of wonderful images already installed in my WordPress website. So I'm going to pick one that I know is like a photo. So let's go with one of my little screenshots of one of my previous live feeds. Now, when you've uploaded your photo, it's going to give you some stats nice and easily for you to read. So if you look up here in the right hand corner, it will tell you the dimensions. So I can see, and you can physically see, that this is quite a large image. It's 1280 pixels wide by 720 tall. Okay, so this is a nice decent size image. And just whilst we're on this little page, just as a little treat and a trick for you, if you look down here where it says copy link, and you literally copy that link, you can go to an empty browser and just inspect that photo on its own. And there you go. So you can see there at 100% zoom, normal size, that's how big this photo is. Okay. And let's just get rid of that one. I've lost the page I'm on. Where are we? So let's put that on this post here. So I'm going to go to the back end, and I've opened up my post, and I'm literally going to find an image. So this is the same sort of thing that you guys would already do. I'm going to navigate to my media library, and there I am finding my image. And again, it tells me the size of the image here. Now, first of all, I'm going to select it and pop it in there. Now, don't forget, I will say to you guys, you do need to put your alt tags in. It does help with your SEO, but that's not the point of today's little live. Now, as you can see, my image has been displayed. Okay, and I'm going to save it just before I alter it or tweak it or do anything else. I just want to show you what's going on now. So I've updated my page, and I'm going to come back here and refresh, and now you will see that post. There we go. My image is on my website. Now, let's just say I'm not happy with that. It's a bit too encompassing. It's too big. It's like really bleh in your face. And I want a nice small little thumbnail, but I don't want to tweak the image itself. This is why you need to work with a large image, but you can change the way it is basically viewed on your WordPress blog. Now, if you come back down here, there are a few different ways to do this. The first one says image size, where you've got a thumbnail version. You can basically change it to a medium, large, or full size. And I will show you in just a moment where to go into the background settings of your WordPress website and change the defaults, because these names of these sizes are all predefined in your WordPress settings. If you don't particularly want to work that way, let me just click on the image again to select it. You can be very specific. So if you wanted it to be exactly 1000 pixels wide, you can do that. Oh, that's 100, there's 1000. And we can then tweak it exactly how we want it to be. Let's say we wanted it to be 562 pixels wide, and we could play that way. Alternatively, we can reset the image, and we've got predefined 100%, 75, 50, and 25. So let's just go with it being 25% the original image size, and we're going to save that now. Now we can test our page, and there we go. Now it starts to be a little bit more sort of politer, shall we say, on the page and the way that the copy is spread out. But if you look now, say for that is an infographic, I can't click on it or do anything with it because I've shrunk it, but I still can't view it. Okay, so this is when you need to get a little bit clever with your images. Let's just go back into that image itself. I'm going to click to replace it. Let's just go back in. I'm just trying to think of the easiest way to do this for you, because I don't want to fiddle with HTML. So I'm going to, let's say we, let's just insert actually the next image, right? Sorry, let's just go through this so I can keep one and you can compare the two. So I'm going to go to image, media library. I'm going to select that same image so we can do a before and after. So I'm going to copy that URL that we know that opens up in another tab, and I'm going to select it. And this time I'm going to select that I want the image to, I can't get it to open. There we go. We're going to link to the main image itself. Okay, there. Oh, it says it's a problem when you do things live on the fly. Okay, save. Right, so now we have got that image saved again, and then we're going to just tweak it one more time. There we go. And now if I click on it, it's going to open the image. Right, so now we know it is working as a hyperlink. And what we can do, now that we've actually put that link in there so we can view it in full, we can come back to the image and then we can just resize it. So I can save it again. And now we can do the before and after. She says waiting for it to update. There we go. And now we can see it. And that is how we get round the image sizing issue. So 25%, make sure it's got the URL link. Now, depending on your theme, you could have a like kind of a pop-up or a spotlight. There's lots of different words and phrases for it, whereby instead of it actually opening this image, let me just go back here and show you. So instead of it opening the image like this, okay, what you could do is have like a kind of a spotlight feature, and there's various plugins whereby it will actually fade the background of your website whilst the image then becomes focused, and you can work that way. So you don't necessarily have to open in a different tab and take people out of your site, but there's 2 or 3 different ways about going it, and I just thought I would show that one as a little hint, tip and strategy for you there as well. So I hope that kind of clarifies a few things for you guys. I'm just going to change my screen back around. That was a little bit on the fly. I had a couple of seconds there where I thought things were going to go wrong, but it's all good. And if you do have any questions, just remember that I do have the hashtag Ask McCall Media that is working on the internet on any social media platform with a Google alert sitting, listening to the world, ready to notify me in my email inbox should anybody ask me any questions using that, so that they can bring it to my attention. And if you are watching, I do appreciate any subscriptions to obviously my Facebook pages, my Periscope page, and all those kind of things, especially my YouTube. And hopefully one day you will actually get to see me on LinkedIn if they ever approve my application. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching my little broadcast today. I will see you on another episode tomorrow, and have a good day.